Xfinity presents High School Sports.
From the campus of Milton High School in Milton, Georgia, it's the season finale for Georgia High School girls basketball in the metro Atlanta area, where tonight it's a matchup inside of Region 5 in the state's largest classification, when the Lady Eagles of Milton host the Lady Wildcats of Wheeler. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our season finale tonight on Xfinity. As always, alongside my broadcast partner, Justin Hanover, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Justin, an interesting matchup today, the last day of the 13-14 regular season.
It is, and you look at the visitors coming in, playing a little bit better of late. Joel Howell's squad, the Wheeler Lady Wildcats, they've won 2 of their last 3. Nice victory last night, beating Walton by 17 points. It's been a little bit up and down, a win here, a loss here. Overall, I said they've won 2 of 3, but they've lost 4 of their last 6. In the first meeting, they won big, did Wheeler, up 18-1 after a quarter. They're going to look to their usual sophomore stud, number 25. You're going to enjoy watching Tierra Steed. 11.5 points a game, 7.5 rebounds. And check this out, Chris. 2.5 steals a game and 3 blocks as well. So she could do a little bit of everything.
Meanwhile, for the Lady Eagles of Milton, they're trying to build momentum, build that steam going into the region tournament starting next week. They come into this ball game under the third-year tutelage of head coach Deb Schaefer. Schaefer's led them to a 5-16 record this year. They're looking to double their win total from just last year. They're led on the court by a dynamic sophomore player at center, 6 foot. It's Kim Lestrange, number 20, averaging 10 points per ball game. And oh, by the way, she's the leading rebounder for her squad as well. With that, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups, the opening tip-off, and the play-by-play story. It's Lady Wildcats and Lady Eagles coming up next on Xfinity. The Wheeler Wildcats and the Lady Eagles of Milton, 2 teams looking to gain a little head of steam going into the region tournament. The Lady Wildcats of Wheeler coming to this ball game at 10-11 overall, 7-6 inside of Region 5 in the state's largest classification. It's Bailey, Hancock, Keeling, Silva, and Steed, the starting 5 for the Lady Wildcats. An offense that's perimeter-based off of 2 guards. Their defense will be based in pressure and right on the ball, led by head coach Joel Howell in his 4th season. Now the starting lineups for the Lady Eagles of Milton. DeAndrea, Bruckman, McGinnis, Smith, and Lestrange. We talked about Lestrange in the opener. Kim leads her team in points per ball game at 10 and also in rebounding. But Summer Smith, a senior leader for this club, and they love the future of McKenna Bruckman. Lady Eagles 5-16 overall, 3-10 inside of Region 5.
And what's interesting, Chris, it's an extra dynamic, remember, because of the snow, the ice. These teams played last night.
Indeed.
They're playing on a back-to-back. These kids are young. They can do it. But it just throws a little extra dynamic, is the word I used just before, into the equation. A little wrinkle here. Which team's going to have maybe a letdown? Which team's going to be ready to go? We'll see.
It is the 4th out of the last 5 nights, 4th game in 5 nights for Milton. Wheeler playing their 3rd game in 5 nights.
And remember, Milton comes in not exactly an offensive juggernaut. They've scored 50 points just 3 times, scored 40-plus just 1 time. So this is a team that plays a little slower pace. We'll see how that works out in maybe a grinding type of a game tonight on this back-to-back with a lot of games under their belts, as you mentioned recently.
It's been a tough last 2 seasons for the Lady Eagles of Milton. This was a state tournament team in 2012, or in 2011, I should say. 2012, they were 9-16. Last year, fell to just 4 wins, 4-19 overall. And now this year, 5-16. And scoring has been the problem for them over the last couple of years, not just this year. And we're underway in North Fulton. Wheeler comes away with the opening possession, or maybe not. Still for Milton. Summer Smith, we'll see her handle the ball mostly at the top to set up the offense. Beautiful pass to the cutting player along the baseline. Lestrange couldn't quite finish, the ball loose, and the first foul of the evening called underneath.
And you called it, Summer Smith, a great pass down low, perfectly executed. She's a great ball handler, 4-year varsity experience player. We're going to see the ball in her hands a lot for obvious reasons.
5'7" point guard is Smith. Cutter, block, put on there by Tierra Steed. She of the 3 blocks per ball game average for Wheeler.
What doesn't she do?
Indeed. Leads her team in every major offensive category, or well, points and rebounds as you mentioned, but also blocks defensively.
And it's an inexcusable play what we just saw there. Kim Lestrange just basically stepped on the end line. You can't give a turnover away just like that.
Bailey off to Silva. Shani Bailey kicks out to Lyric Hancock, who throws up a 3, gets a couple of bounces off the rim, and the rebound pulled away by Lestrange of Milton. Going to be fun tonight to watch the guard play of Wheeler. Oftentimes we'll see him in a 3-guard set, and an offensive foul called on Summer Smith.
Good job defensively, Shani Bailey. Real good job by the junior, taking some contact. Maybe she fell back a little harder than she should have, but hey, that's what it's all about. Get a quick foul on your opponent early on.
Bailey to Hancock. Hancock then over to Silva. This is the 3-guard offense we talked about. And a wild shot off from the right-hander, off glass and taken by Milton. Another rebound for Lestrange here early. She's got 3. And here's Smith. Summer. Give off to Lestrange. Kim. Little penetration. Pass not quite as crisp as it needed to be. And Bailey came flying in to get a piece of it, and they'll say it went off of a Milton player last.
Real active early on for Bailey. Very nicely done.
Shani averages 8.6 points per ball game. And here's Lyric. No, Lyric back off to Bailey. And Bailey, top side, pass a little high for Silva. Fernanda. Now back to Hancock. Lyric. Bailey, another 3 opportunity. Off back iron, no good. Ball still loose, and the rebound being chased by Silva, and Fernandez got it. Penetrate, dish, jumper, Keeling, no good. And the rebound pulled away by McKenna Bruckman.
Not a bad look, just didn't execute it. She had an open 12-foot jumper. Was not able to knock it down.
Bruckman going to penetrate, slash in the lane, and get fouled. McKenna Bruckman will go to the line to shoot 2, a junior at 5'9", a shooting guard. Bruckman had one of the highlights of our 2012-13 season last year on Xfinity. In a ball game against Walton, which we called here on Comcast, she threw up a floater from, I don't know, somewhere in between the 3-point line and half court and knocked it down right at the first quarter buzzer. It was quite a highlight.
Well, we were watching her warm up, and I'll tell you, it was incredible. I was watching with
she's got some range.
With Tim, and she was knocking down every shot. He said, watch her. 7, 8, 9 in a row. She was not missing.
She's got the first 2 points of this ball game, and Milton leads 2-0. She was an integral part of that victory last year over Walton in what was one of very few victories, unfortunately, for the Lady Eagles last year. Workaround, 3-ball from the corner. This is Abdur Rahim. Her shot no good. Ball still loose. Right underneath the bucket. The rebound was pulled away by Silva, and instead of taking it to the rack, she instead tried to dish it off, and it was stolen by Milton. DeAndrea on the steal.
Abdur Rahim, a pretty famous name around Wheeler, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Little bit.
Go back in the annals, former Atlanta Hawk for a little bit, Sharif Abdur Rahim.
Vancouver Grizzly,
yes.
California Golden Bear. I covered Sharif in high school.
One
That's
of
how
the
old
legendary
I am.
players, sure.
Hard to believe he was
great player and a good guy, nice guy.
20 years ago. Good
yeah,
gracious.
That is incredible.
A 3 back iron, no good. Rebound pulled away by DeAndrea, and I thought Milton was going to push, but instead they'll back it off and set up the offense.
Not a lot of push from them.
We'll talk a little bit more about Sharif Abdur Rahim during the boys' game coming up a little later on. Offensive foul. Our officials tonight, Dan Taylor, Anthony Thornton, Grant Toddy.
Well, it looks like this thing's going to be played at a fairly low-scoring pace, if at least the first 3 and change are any indicator. No
Silva.
field goals made.
Durham back to Fernanda. Fernanda kicks it back over to Asha. Asha can't get it to fall. Rebound offensive underneath. And we'll go back the other way, an off the ball foul. No, timeout called on the court, pardon me.
Yeah, 30-second from Coach Howell. Screaming down court. Very loud. Coach Howell in his 4th year here as the head man. 6th year in the program. He played some at Southern Polytech, Chris, and he played here, 89 to 93. He's a member of the Wheeler Wildcats. Now, is that during Sharif's days?
Sharif's freshman year, I believe, was 92.
So they may have played together.
Yeah, they may have played together, yeah. I'm trying to remember. Wheeler won the state championship in 94 with Sharif, a team that was surprisingly, the record not nearly as good as you would think. Again, we should talk about this during the guys' game, but we only reference it, as you mentioned, because Howell, a former Wildcat himself. It's a program that won a state championship back in 1998, the girls program, and they were one of the dominant early Cobb County teams in the 60s and 70s. A team that played in 3 state championship games from 69 through 73. A deep jumper, no good for Milton, and the rebound pulled away by Bailey. And she'll push, give off to Lyric Hancock. Lyric, a great bounce pass to Silva, who can't quite finish it. Ball loose underneath. She gets her own rebound eventually. Another opportunity at an offensive rebound. This time it's Steed, but they'll say that she walked.
I'll tell you, I really like in the early going McKenna Bruckman. Very aggressive player. You give her a lane, she'll go. You give her an open shot, she'll shoot it. She's not afraid. You can tell she's very confident in anything that she does. And here she goes again, little one-on-one.
Well, that's something that Coach Schaefer's talked about openly. They need to be more aggressive in taking some of their shots and with their offensive game.
And there she goes.
And a physical player at that.
Yeah, certainly not afraid to take what she's given.
Milton keeps possession after the scramble. And a steal. Smith didn't put enough on that one. Actually, that was Slappy that threw that one back in bounds. Got my 11 confused with a 1.
Well, still not a field goal yet.
Foul called on DeAndrea. Yeah, good point. We're more than halfway into this opening quarter, and just 2 points scored collectively between the two teams. 4.5 minutes into the ball game. Of course, these two teams played back on January 16th. Wheeler came away with a 45-28 victory, and the first quarter score in that one, something you and I have been talking about for a couple of weeks.
Yes, it was. 18-1. Wheeler was up,
18-1, Mr. Hanover said.
So they have yet to make a field goal in the quarter and a half, has Milton.
Correct, because they're 2 points coming off of free throws. Mercy.
Laura DeAndrea throwing that away. I watch her in warm-ups as well. Talk about somebody that can hit the 3 when open. All she was doing, 50, 60, 70 of them. One was out of bounds behind the basket, and she nailed it.
Well, this is kind of the subject that I'm about to broach. It's kind of hard to quantify it or qualify it, if you will, but a lot of people mystified as to why this team is only 5-15, 5-16 so far this year. There's a travel. They turned the ball over. They turned the ball over 17 times per ball game, Coach Schaefer told us. Now, obviously, that's part of the reason they're not scoring a lot of points, but a lot of people wonder why they're not a little bit better, because they do have some tools. They have some players that have a good bit of talent.
And you're right. In her notes, she called it an awful average of 17 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
So she's very well aware of the shortcomings of her team.
You, of course, see a lot of turnovers in high school basketball. You don't have to be a basketball aficionado or a high school sports aficionado out there watching this broadcast to know that. We see a lot of turnovers. We cover it from week to week, sometimes 2 and 3 times a week, so we see it a lot. However, 17 in a 32-minute ball game, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to be patient. We heard that from Coach Schaefer. Be patient, move the ball. Don't be anxious, don't force it. If they move it and take their time, there's talent here.
Like McKenna Bruckman, who gets the opening bucket Or, well, the first
Yeah, the
deuce
opening
of
bucket,
the ball
sure.
game. Yeah, sure. And it's 4-0 Milton.
I mean, if you give her an inch, she'll take it. She's not afraid. It's a great sign.
She was the star of the ball game last year when we were here. They upset Walton in that ball game. Again, you get a win and you finish with 3 or 4. Any wins an upset. And a 3 knocked down finally by Lyric Hancock. Hancock 8.5 points per ball game. Just a 5'3" point guard, but a senior leader for the Lady Wildcats of Wheeler. Look at that save. What a save there by Keeling. It turns into a break and the lead for Wheeler.
Yeah, you called it. Keeling with just a phenomenal defensive play, transition basketball, defense to offense, and just like that, they take their first lead.
Silva with the deuce that gave them the lead. And Wheeler's now putting on the trap, are they not?
Yeah,
An
they're
errant
bringing
shot.
the pressure.
Yeah, they're bringing the pressure, and Milton is buckling under it here in the final 2 minutes of the first quarter.
I think they're going to try and really speed up the pace of this thing, knowing that Milton really is a lower scoring team. If they can, move it up and down a little quicker, that's going to take Milton out of their game. Turn them over a little bit.
Eunice out of the ball game. Kiera Hall in. And Bruckman does it again. She has scored all 6 of Milton's points here early, and a walk.
And that was a long two, about as long of a two as you can have as the toe is on the line.
Kiera Hall comes to the ball game, promptly decides to attack. I love that decision. But she got a little over anxious, took a few too many steps.
Yep, little full court press now. And
Nice.
Good job of passing it around.
Indeed. Driving. McKenna put it off the glass a little too hard. Rebound pulled away by Hall. Here's Silva. And she'll set it up. Hancock off to her teammate Bailey. Bailey misses hard with the 3-ball attempt. Final minute, first quarter. 6-5. Mercy. Walk. What's our walk count up to? You're not
It's
keeping
getting
that on
up
the
there
stat
now.
sheet?
It's
We up to
gaining
6?
it's gaining some momentum for sure. We haven't had many tie balls though. Normally in these games we get a lot of those tied up balls.
Yeah. I think the walks category beating the scoring category
Yeah.
tonight. Will Milton hold for the final shot or take the first really good one? Well, it's academic at this point. What a double team and steal for Tierra Steed. Steed 12 points per ball game, 8 rebounds, 25 in blue. One of the best players in Cobb County. Look at this quick shot back down the court by DeAndrea. Ball still loose inside. Bruckman had it for a moment. She was sent away by Steed, and now it turns into a Wheeler break at 13 seconds. Driving in and scoring off the glass is Shani Bailey.
And Tierra Steed defensively, again, defense turning things over into offense.
Another steal. Got a 1-second half-court shot coming up, and it's no good. Well, we were at 2-0 for as long as you can imagine in the opening period. Just 15 points combined for both teams, and the Lady Wildcats of Wheeler lead here in North Fulton 9-6 through one stanza on Xfinity. Well, Mr. Hanover, I asked you to earn your paycheck. 15 points in the first quarter. Your thoughts?
Well, the problem for Milton, they've only had one scorer so far. McKenna Bruckman with all 6. Wheeler's surrounding things, spreading it out. 4 players have scored. Some great defense from Tiffany Steed. So right now you have to give advantage to the visitors. They have looked like the better team.
Just 15 points in that opening quarter, but a lot for you to analyze, really.
Well, more
Hutchinson
balance.
needs help, and instead it turns into a steal. Silva gives off to her teammate Hall, who cannot finish it, and Milton comes away with the rebound.
If you don't have balance, you can't be a good team.
Yeah.
If you don't have
Sure.
a bunch of people that can score, it's not going to work in the end. So far through a quarter with only one scorer for Milton, that's just not good enough.
Some wholesale changes here, by the way, for Milton. Well, you think Coach Schaefer's sending a message to her starting 5? We've got Abby Hutchinson, number 5, into the ball game. Carolyn Schwab, number 14. No, pardon me, Schwab's not into the ball game, but we do have Mary Ashley Coleman, Jada Olajeda, and Sarah Womack all into the ball game now.
Well, that's a bad turnover. Little miscommunication. You try and throw that pass to your teammate, and they're too close to you. And that's what happens.
Milton with possession back. Lydia McGinnis into the ball game for Milton, and not Schwab, pardon me. By the way, 24, Jada, J-A-I-D-A, her last name, I believe pronounced Olajeda. First the break for Wheeler ahead, can't finish it off, ball still loose. Rebound finally pulled away by Silver, the loose ball more precisely, and Wheeler will keep possession up by 3 now, just a minute into this second quarter. A 3 from deep, Abdur Rahim, back iron, no good, rebound pulled away by Jada, and then a lost possession.
Interesting. Ash has been a lot on the left wing, had a couple of shots early on. They've moved her, at least for that shot, all the way in the right corner.
We didn't ask pronunciations before the ball game, Justin, but Jada, 24 in white and red. Her last name, Olajedi. No way her last name's Olajedi.
You're the brains behind this operation, so I'll defer to you.
A walk-on Wheeler will go back the other way. If 24 in red and white right there on your screen, if her last name's Olajedi, I'd expect to see some mind tricks, on the court today. Ba-dum-bum. Look at that steal. Look at that steal right down here in front of us by Hall. Wheeler cannot finish these breaks, my goodness. How many breakaways have they had right at the rack, Justin?
A few too many. Good job by Abby Hutchinson, though, coming back, putting her body at least in the way for the freshman. And a good handle.
Abby picked up her dribble, gives off to Womack. Sarah back to Abby. Abby drives. Look at that pass to Jada. Olajedi cannot finish. And a foul underneath.
Real nice possession, though, by Abby Hutchinson, the freshman. Some good defense, good pass down low, good handle. Just lack of offense here for the Eagles. Not able to really do all that much.
There's Jada.
And again, both teams played last night. A little sloppy here early on the back-to-back. Wheeler against Walton, nice little rivalry, maybe a letdown spot.
3 no good by Bailey, but they'll keep possession.
That's one of those balls I think it hit both players simultaneously, so the referees just keep it right down there.
Mary Ashley Coleman, the last to touch it officially. Nice baseline step in around the defender there by Hancock. She couldn't knock it down, but her teammate Steed comes away with a loose ball, and they'll reset the offense.
Still no points in this quarter.
Hall. Kiera has it back. Lost it. Now gives it off to Tierra, who thought about the 3. Boy, oh boy. Lyric works around to Shani. And Shani walked.
I think now it's official. More walks than points to this point.
Wheeler 9 points. Milton 6. Walks 10. Heads up play right there.
Yeah, real good attempt.
And an injured young lady down. Silva getting retaped over on the sideline. We'll keep an eye on that. Fernanda sitting on the side. Olajedi attacks and is fouled.
Interesting call. The defender had the position, but she just wasn't exactly straight. Her body was a little tilted, and I think that's why she didn't get the call, and Jada did.
Misses the first. And the second back iron. Last one to touch, a Milton player. Still no points. Second quarter, if you're just joining us.
Fair to say they're at a premium right about now.
3 ball. Will this break the drought? Nope, back iron. Ball still loose, pulled away by Milton. The rebound by Mary Ashley Coleman, a sophomore at 6'1". Another future player for Milton. This staff, or this roster I should say, so young. Walk.
Yeah, Lydia McGinnis has got to give that ball up. She's trying to do a little bit too much. Good fight she showed there at midcourt, but you can't dribble through the press. You can't take it by the whole other team. Let the ball do the work, pass that around.
3 seniors on the roster. Will all be gone obviously next year. They'll be senior and junior heavy next year. 3, Hancock, side iron no good, ball still loose underneath. And the rebound pulled away by Milton. Goodness. "30-second timeout called by Deb Schaefer and the Lady Eagles of Milton."
You can tell the Eagles out of sorts a bit here. They don't really have a true point guard on the floor that's taking over. I think Coach Schaefer was a little bit upset with the first quarter, pulled a lot of her ladies out, put in sort of a second unit of sorts, but not really with a ball handler. And they're having issues against this half-court type, not half-court press, but this pseudo full-court type of a deal. And with that, Laura DeAndrea is checking back in. Now she's more of a shooting guard, but we'll see if actually she becomes the primary ball handler.
Yeah, she the only starter to check back into the ball game. Good eye by you.
And a senior, more experience, calm things down. You see she's got a good handle.
Already, yep. You can see the difference. Although she's getting quite a battle from Bailey.
Oh yeah, the defense
nice.
is great there, sure. And a great
Hall
pass.
cannot finish. Boy, I tell you what, that's been the storyline offensively for Wheeler. They've
missed
had
a ton of-
point-blank layups.
Yep.
I'll tell you probably 10 times tonight.
A ton of bunnies, a ton of them. They should be up double digits right now.
Womack clearing out, hit with the foul.
This could be one of those games where it's 19-6 right now if they hit those shots.
Sure, absolutely.
And Coach Howell knows it. I mean, he's on the sideline there, head down a little bit, thinking, what do we have to do to just convert a couple of layups?
Lena Yunus and Asha Abdur-Rahim back in the ball game for Wheeler. Again, if you've been out all Saturday, you're coming in to check out the youngsters here between Wheeler and Milton. Thanks for joining us on highschoolsportsxfinity.com. Alongside Justin Hanover, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Oh, wow, look at that score. And a beautiful one at that by Shani Bailey. Bailey averages 8.5 points per ball game, a 5'3" junior point guard.
I was just going to ask you if you've ever seen a 0-0 quarter in all your years.
No, I don't think so, but 2-0 sure would contend for the lowest. Let's make it a 4-0 quarter now in favor of Wheeler, and they lead 13-6.
Now they're starting to fall. You see when they convert what they can do, because they're quick, they're athletic, they'll turn you over real well, but they just were not able to convert on the other end. Now they're starting to fall.
You see Fernanda Silva still on the sidelines and being seen by the trainer. Unable to put much pressure on her right ankle as I'm looking back behind the Wheeler bench right now. Bailey to finish off the three-point play. 14-6. Again, if you're just tuning in, this ball game 9-6 at the start of this quarter.
It's been a quick 5-0 run, though. I mean, this was 9-6 just seconds ago. The 2 and then the 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
DeAndrea, back iron, no good. Ball loose, rebound Abdur-Rahim, and a jump ball, the result. Asha got her team possession back by wrapping that one up. Her big ball game of this year, the senior 16 points versus Cherokee. She averages 4.5 per game. Big play there for 33 to get her team the ball back and potentially add to this lead, because let's face it, it looks like every point going to be important in this one. Steal. And a great spin move by Smith. Summer with a 2-on-2 attacks and is fouled.
You can see how Wheeler's just a step quicker, more athletic, quicker. It looked like Summer had a break, but they were able to cut it off nicely and make her earn it here at the line.
Summer 5'7", a point guard, a senior, a team leader. Misses the first.
Boy, you talk about a sealed rim.
By the way, Wheeler in the bonus. Foul 7-6 now.
Still McKenna Bruckman, the only Eagle to dent the scoreboard.
Pardon me, they just flip-flopped that. It's 7-6. Wheeler has committed 7 fouls. Well, 8-6 in the foul territory now. And Milton to the line. Lydia McGinnis, a sophomore at 5'9", a small forward. And she hits. First points of the second quarter for Milton. Gracious. Back iron. And they come away with a much needed rebound. This could be a very productive trip. Bruckman went down the baseline, got absolutely sealed off by the defender, Shaquisha Killing.
Yeah. Real good job, you're right. They did seal her off. Nothing she could have done because of the excellent defense.
Nice ball movement. Steve. Floater won't fall off glass. Abdur Rahim got the rebound underneath. No, pardon me. That was Eunice who got the rebound underneath. And Lena was fouled. So Lena Eunice goes to the line. Just 55% from the free throw line. Yet this young lady, 50% from the field.
Can name a couple of NBA guys like that.
Yeah, indeed. Third on
Andre Jordan, little Dwight Howard.
Third on her team in rebounding per ball game at 5. She's 0 for 2 at the line. And Milton has possession back.
With the whole drought that Milton's experienced here so far, they're within 7. They're in striking distance.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well, at least for a moment. DeAndrea's pass tipped. They'll work it around the perimeter now.
Here's
McGinnis.
the patience. Here's the patience they need to show.
Lestrange nearly walked, and I think she knew it. She tried to short arm the pass, and it was intercepted by Wheeler. Ball still loose. Bruckman came flying in defensively, knocked the ball loose, and it ends up in the hands of Lestrange. And now Smith. It looks like Wheeler's going to take the first half or the lead into the half, but Milton trying to chip away at it. Nice reach in, but no foul by Bailey defensively.
Yeah, real nice play defensively. All ball. You see the quickness and the athleticism from the Lady Cats.
And they just went small on the check-in, by the way. They just got Hall back into the ball game, Hancock back into the ball game, and sent 2 bigs off. Drive, off glass, put a little too much on it there by McGinnis. And Steed will push. Give off to Hall. Hall tries to give to the trailer, and it's knocked out of bounds by Bruckman. 1:19 first half here in North Fulton. Wheeler leads Milton 14-7.
Unlucky there for Bruckman. Real nice hustle coming back. It just happened to have hit her and deflected out of bounds. Little volleyball action.
They are. You know, as little as they score, boy, they don't let it carry over to their defense, do they?
Very scrappy.
And that is something that you have to commend the young ladies for. It's like a hitter in baseball. Don't let it carry over to your defense.
And you see them here in that, what looks like a 1-4 zone. You've got DeAndre up top, and it seems like everybody else is down low.
Free throw line jumper. Hall hits. Kiera Hall, who averages 2.2 points per ball game, a junior guard at 5'4".
5 scores now for the Wildcats versus just 2 for the Eagles.
Smith trying to dribble out of it, and she does. Finds a player down wide open, or at least pseudo wide open, and Lestrange, they'll say, walked as she was trying to elude the defender.
Boy, what have you got to do to get some points? When it rains, it pours a little bit, and you saw it right there.
I don't think she needed to do that. That's the worst part if you're pulling for Milton.
Yeah.
Steed in the corner. A half minute left, second quarter. I missed the call. Foul inside or 5 second?
No, I think they're calling it 3 seconds down
3
low.
second, yeah. Nine-point ball game. Oh, a little too much on that pass. Drive and a foul. Mercy.
If you're aggressive and you go to the hoop, good things can happen. That's what we saw right there for Shanae.
So Bailey at the line, 49% from the charity stripe. And she looks for her 8th point of the evening. And gets it.
You're the mathematician from Kennesaw State. If she gets this one, what does she have then?
Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Indeed. The money was worth it.
Which, well, and she is quite easily the leading scorer tonight. Bruckman second between the two teams at 6. Justin Hanover on the stats tonight.
McKenna hasn't scored, though, remember, since the first quarter.
Yep.
So nothing doing offensively here for the Eagles.
Final 15. In fact, they have just the 1 point in this quarter. Ball still loose. Could be the second time this season Milton scores only 1 point against Wheeler in a quarter in a ball game.
Well, what are we looking at now? 9-1, at least, versus the 18-1 in that opening first quarter, in the first game.
Back on the 16th. 5 seconds for Wheeler. Bailey. 2 seconds. Drive. Floater. Off glass. No good. Boy, oh boy. So we go to the half here in North Fulton. 18-7. The Lady Wildcats of Wheeler get a little more breathing room in this second quarter. Both of these teams got to be so tired in the final days of the 2013-14 season. One team playing their 3rd game in 5 days, the other playing their 4th game in 5 days. 18-7, Wheeler at the half. It seems like about the last 2 years, Milton has scored or struggled to score buckets. This year, the same storyline. Tonight, just 7 points through a half. And our final broadcast of the year on Xfinity. Wheeler leads 18-7. McKenna Bruckman, the leading scorer for Milton, with 6 points. Of just the 7, they had just 1 point in that second quarter.
And let's also remember, they just have 2 field goals. 3 of their 7 points are via the free throw. You cannot survive, in big-time high school basketball by making 2 field goals and a half. And Wheeler certainly, they missed a lot of bunnies. They missed a lot of shots themselves. They were at least able to muster 18 points, though. And when you score 18 and you're up 11, you don't see that every day.
Right. Led by Shanae Bailey, the junior point guard, who had 9 points in the ball game, has 9 points in the ball game, I should say. Lyric Hancock with 3. Milton, the opening shot of the second half, and the rebound pulled away by Lyric Hancock. She'll feed ahead to Silva, who missed, the entirety of the second half. Silva was out. There she is, 10 in blue, and you can see her hobbling as we speak.
Clearly favoring.
I'll tell you, we may not see her. If this ball game is clinched somewhere late 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter, don't be surprised to see Silva come off the court. She's standing at the line now. First foul of the second half called on Milton, and she front irons and then back irons the free throw. Well, Silva 69% from the line.
Even if this becomes a game, Chris, let's be honest, this game's not the most meaningful. There are more important games to come when you start talking about the playoffs. I don't know the way she just hobbled around if they really want to keep her on the court that long.
Wheeler at 7-6, remember, inside of Region 5, sitting in the middle of the pack. They're also sitting on the goal of trying to get to 500 for the season. They are just 10-11 overall. They played a tough out-of-region schedule, and of course they play in a tough region where Roswell is already double digits in wins inside the region. Etowah's a good club. There are really 3-4 teams right in the middle of the pack of this region as Hancock scores and puts Wheeler up now 21-7. I hate to say it, but already not even a minute into this third quarter, dangerous situation for Milton. And McKenna Bruckman heard me and said, well, Mr. Mooneyham, let me knock down this three-point shot, get our team back to within 11.
Well, it's a football score at 21-10. They're going to need to go for two in a little bit.
Where's Howie DeCristofaro? Head coach of the football team.
We saw him a time this year.
Right. Well, it's funny. Not many times, and I've been broadcasting these games for Play On Sports and here on Xfinity for a few years now. Not many times have we seen the same matchup during the football season, also during the basketball season. We saw Wheeler and Milton in the regular season of the Georgia high school football season this year as well. Steele. Silva with a one-on-one matchup. Left-hander off glass, no good. Ball loose. And the loose ball pulled away by Slappy. Lauren Slappy of Milton. She'll feed ahead to McGinnis. Kelsey going to give off to her teammate DeAndrea. And now Bruckman. Jumper goes. Boy, oh boy. 11 of Milton's 12 points from McKenna Bruckman. Joel Howell calls timeout for Wheeler. His team now with just a 9-point lead.
And again, they missed a lot of easy looks earlier on. This thing could be well out of range for them. They could be warming up the bus, up a good 20 points. But by missing those bunnies, it's right now a single-digit game. And you see Milton, they're fired up. McKenna Bruckman all of a sudden hitting her shots again, very streaky. She was hot early on, hot now. We've got a game.
Well, this is quite astounding. Lydia McGinnis, the only other point in the ball game for Milton. She made a single free throw back in, I believe, the first quarter when she knocked that down. Yeah, mercy. Silva. Foul called on the interior, and Milton has it back.
A little bit of momentum
hit
shifting.
Keeling.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, a little bit of momentum shifting out to the Eagles.
Save. Bruckman comes away with a loose ball as it was saved by Wheeler. She'll drive, and she's fouled. Well now, after Wheeler scores the first 3 points of the second half and increases their lead to 21-7, it was 18-7 at the half. Now all of a sudden 7 consecutive points been scored by McKenna Bruckman and Milton, and a chance at the three-point play.
The McKenna Bruckman show right now.
And she can't complete it. Loose ball. Milton's got it back. Well, you see why they like McKenna Bruckman so much on the Milton side. Look at this mad scramble for the basketball. Bruckman breaks out in the clear and scores. Well now, 6 consecutive points to start the half, all by Bruckman and Milton.
2-possession game. Tierra Steed, by the way, very quiet. Had a nice steal on that last possession, but then while she was falling, turned it back over. They're going to have to look to their sophomore sensation to maybe score more than just 2 points, which she has.
4 turnovers on possession and a foul in 7 possessions for Wheeler. 6 possessions, I should say, for Wheeler in this half. And now a steal. Silva scores.
The wheel looked good on that play.
Yeah. Of course, you're referencing the injured ankle of Fernanda Silva, who was out most, if not all, of the second quarter, getting taped up by the team trainer.
You know, if you're Milton, you need to just run a set, be patient, no reason to rush things, look for your open look.
And a 3 by DeAndrea, Laura DeAndrea, a senior shooting guard at 5'5".
And a 4-point game at 23-19. All of a sudden, Chris, we've got a hot one.
And oh, by the way, finally someone else has scored for Milton. 3 points for DeAndrea, a single point for McGinnis, And the remaining 17 points by Bruckman.
And that's not going to get it done. Again, you need more than 3 scorers. You've got to have some balance. And even without that, Milton within 4.
Another foul offensively for Wheeler. 2 fouls, 5 turnovers, 2 makes. That's the Wheeler offense so far, second half. Halfway into this third quarter. McGinnis, double dribble.
Yeah, when you lose that ball, you've got to come back with it. You can't start dribbling again.
Milton got to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah.
Turnover like that, costly. Here's Kiera Hall, who was uber aggressive first half, and then a 3 knocked down by Lyric Hancock. Hancock closing in on her per game average. In fact, she's nearly right at it. And a steal by Hall, although I believe a foul. Let's wait for the official call. No, Wheeler going to keep possession.
Lyric now has 8, and that average at 8.6, so she can't get much closer, I don't think.
Well, heated conversation going on right there. Powell going after the official to finish the conversation. Lestrange comes up with a block. Steed got the loose ball. She's blocked as well underneath by McGinnis. And McGinnis ends up taking away the possession in favor of Milton. Here's DeAndrea at the emblem. Gives off to Bruckman. McKenna back off to DeAndrea. Now a deep ball from Lestrange is no good. She chases her own rebound. Ball still loose as she gets in a battle with a defender. Bruckman's shot a little bit errant. Probably should have set up the offense right there if you're Bruckman.
Yeah, that's exactly what the coach was talking about. You need to be patient. You don't just shoot a 3 because you can turn around and throw it up. Those were 2 low percentage shots by Milton.
And now a change for Milton, by the way. Lestrange going to head off, and Abby Hutchinson into the ball game. Steed has Hancock working around a screen, gives it off to her, misses a shot, then underneath, a foul called on the shot attempt by Eunice. Right now on the floor for Wheeler, it's Steed, Hancock, Bailey, Eunice, and Hall.
And again, really not much production, at least on the offensive end, from Tiara Steed. Team's leading scorer, 11.5 a game, still on 2.
Eunice now 0 for 3 at the line tonight, and scoreless. Summer Smith going to head off the court, and Lauren Slappy comes in for Milton. Oh for 4 at the line is Eunice. Hutchinson the rebound, Milton possession. Trap. Breaking. Bruckman. Dishes. 3 ball. Good! Laura DeAndrea. Her second 3 of this half. She's up to 6 points. We've got ourselves a 4-point ball game.
She's got range. She's their 3-point shooter, warming up for about 25, 30 minutes, just shooting 3 ball after 3 ball.
I'll tell you, this is very similar to what they did last year in the ball game. I'll reference it again. We had Milton on Xfinity last year in the season finale when they took on Walton. Walton, a heavily favored team in that ball game. Here's the 3 by DeAndrea.
It's a big time 3 from the corner, well behind the line.
Last year, Milton just hung around in that ball game, hung around, started to inch out in front third quarter, inched out of front just a tad bit more in the fourth quarter, and ended up holding on to the lead. What seemed like out of nowhere last year in that win over Walton.
Well, Wheeler should be kicking themselves right now, Chris. This is a team that missed a lot of easy layups. They had this game under complete control, up double digits. They could have extended this lead to about 20 at one point. This thing really could have gotten out of control, and they have only themselves to blame. They could not finish the job, and right now they're only up 4.
Wild shot there by Silva, and Bruckman comes out of the pack with it. Can you believe this is a 15-point third quarter for Milton? A 15-point third quarter for Milton. They had 1 point in the second quarter and just 6 in the first.
And there's Steed. We see the presence defensively. Been very stout on that end of the floor. Just not many looks on the offensive end.
Now Shaq Keeling and Asha Abdur-Rahim back into the ball game for Wheeler. Drive, baseline dish, so dangerous. 3-ball, slappy, no good. Lauren just a little strong on that one. And a foul underneath, believe they're going to hit on the over the back, I should say, Laura DeAndrea.
The building's starting to really fill up. You could hear,
Yeah.
you could hear a lot more noise. You feel the fans in the air getting excited for what's coming up next.
Perfect segue. 3 off iron, no good. Rebound pulled away by Milton. Don't forget to join us, fans, whether you're watching us live online or on demand on the Talking Cable Box. Coming up next, Wheeler and Milton on the boys' side. One of the more highly anticipated ball games inside the state, and certainly one of the more highly anticipated ball games around the state tonight. 7 state championships between Milton and Wheeler coming up next on Xfinity. Wheeler with 4 of the top 50 players in the country, the top 2 juniors in this state.
Certainly a ton of talent. It's fun the way they play above the rim with all that size on that front line.
Boy, what's the over-under on slam dunks
Oh, there's going to
tonight?
be a bunch, yep. We're going to see some highlight reel plays.
That's a good way to describe it to the fans out there who may not know what is in store for tonight. I mean, honestly, let's almost be serious with a goofy subject for a second. What is the over-under on dunks tonight? 10? 8 to 10?
For just Wheeler or combined?
No, we'll do both ball games because Wheeler will have 8 and Milton will have 2.
Sure.
But Milton will sharp shoot the lights out of the gym. Wait until you see Zach Hodgkins, one of the great stories in all of national high school basketball. Look at that up and under move. And a foul. Great attacking move by Summer Smith. I thought for a moment the senior was going to be a little out of control, but she stayed with it, had the big jump step, and drew the foul. She'll go to the line.
Yeah, she's got the great ball handling skills. You saw it right there. She's looking for her first points of the game, believe it or not. It's been a factor, just not able to knock anything down.
She was pretty solid early in the ball game. And then, if we're just being quite frank, struggled late first quarter and throughout the second quarter. She's played a lot better in this second half, and coincidentally, and of course I'm being sarcastic, it is not a coincidence that since she's played better in this third quarter, her team is drawn back to within 4 tonight on Xfinity.
Yeah.
A 3-ball from deep, no good. Rebound pulled down underneath by Slappy. Milton's got it back. Don't know if they want Abdur-Rahim shooting 3-pointers. That'll be big. Offside iron, no good. Following her own rebound. Off glass, gets a couple of hops, still no good. DeAndrea couldn't get it to fall. It's still loose. Slappy had a shot at it, and a jump ball coming up.
Wow, they both fell hard on that play.
You feel like the officials letting them play a little bit more here in this third quarter than they did the first half? Am I imagining that? Just
No,
be honest with me.
I think they
You're thinking
are.
about it.
I think they are. We haven't heard the whistle blow as much. I don't know if it's necessarily been as frantic. I don't think we've seen that full court press from Wheeler the way we saw it earlier on. So I think there's been less calls, and there should be less calls.
I agree with that. Final 5, third quarter here in North Fulton. Driving, loose, and a late foul.
Talk about being bailed out a little bit.
Oh boy, you're not
But
kidding.
actually, no, that's a great foul because they're not in the bonus here.
Okay, yeah, maybe I see your point. 1.7 left third quarter. They'll hit Bruckman on the foul. That was her first. Keyed inbounds, 3-ball from the wing, no good.
I don't know if it was intentional, but it's a good foul. Make them chop up that play. The defense didn't rotate over. That was actually a good look, but she just couldn't execute the shot.
Well, we've got ourselves a ball game. We wondered for a while if it would inch any closer. 28-24, just 8 more minutes to play, at least in regulation, from North Fulton. As Bruckman starts to bomb threes from deep and gets us to a ball game to the fourth quarter on Xfinity. We hope for a fantastic finish here, fourth quarter in Milton. Alongside Justin Hanover, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Again, thanks for joining us tonight on Xfinity. Close, dramatic finish has been few and far between for us this year on Xfinity, although when we've had them, they've been pretty good. Milton is close to within 4 with a furious third quarter rally. Inside, and a foul. Looks like Abby Hutchinson, the freshman, going to the line. They really love the play of this freshman.
Real aggressive play once again by McKenna Bruckman, but when you go inside against Tiara Steed, that's a tall order, and another block recorded for big number 25.
Tiara Steed, so very good. Freshman dips and shoots and hits. We were talking about Steed. There she is, 25 in blue. You saw her a moment ago on the wide shot. Tiara, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks per ball game. Went for 15 points in a ball game versus Cherokee earlier in the year. A ball game where they absolutely had to have a win. Both teams, she banks it in.
Things are going good. They're going good, and it's a 2-point ball game, my friend.
28-26. Half minute into the fourth quarter. They'll work around top side.
And Bruckman, you see on Steed, and a good job of denying the ball.
Although they're going to say Bruckman touched that basketball.
Yeah. No, she did.
Okay.
It's a good job of getting front side on her and swatting it away.
Bailey steps back for the 3 and cannot connect. And the rebound pulled away by Smith. Shot altered of Hutchinson. Defense comes away with a great job by Eunice. Lena Eunice to get over and get it. Steed's errant. Pass was errant and intercepted by Bruckman. She got Steed up in the air, and now she decides to go up again. And instead of the jump ball, they're going to call the foul. That was close. Awfully, awfully close.
Very surprised by that call because she went up, and it looked like she didn't have any real estate in that air right there.
Yeah.
I thought it was a block or a tie-up.
Wow. I don't know if you could catch it on our peripheral microphones as Bruckman shoots her first and misses side iron, but Joel Howell let out a yell.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Across the gym.
Officials have done a very good job as always, but that one I didn't see.
Bruckman second off back iron, no good. Rebound pulled down underneath by Hutchinson. She'll give it off to Bruckman. The offense could reset. Instead, Bruckman will attack. That ball went in and out.
I think it went in twice.
Boy, we'll see if that ends up being big later. As Hall comes out of the pack with the loose ball, Wheeler going to reset it up. Lyric Hancock has it back, now gives off to Shani Bailey. Bailey and Hancock both have been good tonight, although not dominant. A 3, Hancock, Lyric, an air ball, and it's headed out of bounds.
I'll tell you, very disappointing. There's nothing inside at all for Wheeler. Give Milton credit for denying, but when you have somebody like Tiara Steed in there who scores 11.5 a game, you've got to at least get something going.
They've sealed her off, though, haven't they, defensively? It seems as though that's been the goal tonight for Milton, is to face the inside big post players, Eunice, Abdur Rahim, Keeling, and Steed, and force the guards to shoot the basketball or penetrate.
No, you're right, they have. You've got to do a little better, though.
3 from the corner.
You've got to find a way. Tiara Steed is too good and too dominant.
Hutchinson takes on Steed and loses that battle. And here comes Wheeler with a 2-on-1. And a great tip away. Oh, what a tip away by Summer Smith defensively to slow down the break. Milton going to be called for a defensive foul here on this possession. And as we see Silva on the side, by the way, still not back into the ball game, being taped up. But what a great defensive play by Smith down there.
The Eagles playing their hearts out defensively, no doubt about it. The ball denial, the way they're packing it in.
Steed thought about the 3 again. Tiara drives in, left-handed off glass and iron, no good. Rebound pulled away by her teammate Lena Eunice.
I like that though. She's got to be aggressive. If the ball's not coming to her, go get it.
Straight away 3 is good. Shani Bailey. The junior pushes the lead back up to 5, and that's a big one.
14 now.
14?
Yeah. It's the Bruckman against Bailey show, the Killer Bees.
Oh, no. We may have a stoppage of play here because it looks like Abby Hutchinson is down and is hurt. Well, with that, let's see if they're going to get the young lady off the court. You know what? I tell you what, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. 5-point game, fourth quarter from Milton on Xfinity. Nice round of applause as they get Abby Hutchinson up and off of the court. Young lady, I think, just had the breath knocked out of her.
Yeah, she'll be fine, it appears.
And as we get back to play here, Lena Eunice. Lena, again, 55% from the line, as I've mentioned a couple of times tonight. Still scoreless tonight, 0 for 4 from the line. Make it 0 for 5. Lestrange had the rebound for a moment, had the littlest player on the court take it away from her. And eventually, is that a reach-in foul?
They're going the other way, so yeah.
Indeed.
But a great little persistent play by Lyric Hancock to get in there.
They're going to hit Lena Eunice on the foul. That'll give her 3, by the way, and we'll have to start to watch that situation. That, by the way, will result in a 1-and-1 for Milton. It's Kim Lestrange at the line, and the right-hander dips and shoots and hits.
And Kim Lestrange, you featured her in your ISO in the opener. The leading scorer on this team, well, that's her first point of the ball game.
Sophomore at 6 foot.
It's almost like both of our ISO players, Steed and Lestrange, are canceling each other out a little bit by not really doing much offensively.
Lane violation inside on Milton. So no count of the free throw, and we go back the other way. 4-point ball game. Nearing the 5-minute mark inside of this possession. And it looks like Coach Howell telling his team to slow it down and space the offensive side of the court. Oh, the wraparound in gain of position. Boy, we've seen that call a lot over the last few weeks here on Xfinity.
I like, though, the aggressiveness of the big ladies on Wheeler right now. We didn't see anything from them. Now at least they're coming out to the ball trying to change things up.
Jump ball called on this possession. It was Steed that was hit with that foul, by the way, as Steed tried to make a move and get into the lane, wrapped her left arm or right arm around a defender and tried to space out away from her. So that was her 3rd foul, by the way, 3rd foul. 9 fouls now on Wheeler. We were talking about the free throw and foul situation in the 3rd quarter. Now those fouls really starting to pile up, 16 combined. Walk.
Well, if the teams keep missing their free throws the way they have been, it won't really matter. But no, you're right. That's a very important factor.
Yeah.
This thing could come down to that for sure.
More important for Wheeler as far as committing fouls. Milton, a superior team from the line than Wheeler is. I won't say substantially, but a marked better number for Milton at the line than Wheeler.
Milton continues to try and just dribble through this press. If they spread things out, be patient and calm down, and let the ball do the work. Keep moving around without the ball and keep passing it, they'll be better off.
Bailey. Over to Hancock. Lyric thought about driving, tried to dump it off to Tiara Steed, and it was intercepted by Bruckman. McKenna falls away, throws up a floater, no good. Boy, oh boy, Milton wishing that she had set up the offense. Took that shot in traffic. Coach Schaefer was having a word with her there for a moment. Fortunately, they keep possession.
And McKenna clearly very aggressive. That's good and that's bad.
Side iron. Lestrange had it for a moment. She still got it underneath and scores! With Steed right on her back, Kim Lestrange scores on one of the best defenders in all of Cobb County. Tiara Steed right on her back. And we near now under 4.5 minutes and a 2-point ball game.
A 2-point ball game. Was not looking that way early on when Wheeler clearly appeared to be the far superior team.
Here's Steed. Wild shot underneath. Lestrange, the rebound.
Looking for the tie or possibly the lead here, Chris.
Slappy. Intercepted. Bailey pushing. Shani. And a double dribble. She tried to slow down as the defender was coming sliding over to take her on. That was Summer Smith. And Shani slowed down to try to spin away from the defender and come back towards the three-point line. And in doing so, one of her feet kind of slipped underneath her, and she double dribbled.
And again, the possession before that for Milton, go back to Coach Schaefer's own words. We have an awful average of 17 turnovers a game. No reason to force the pass they did, and yet they did, and it led to another turnover. Milton needs to just control themselves, stay calm, possess the ball, and good things will happen. But they're rushing, their pace is a little, at times, quicker than it should be.
If you've been out and about on this Saturday, thanks for joining us on Xfinity High School Sports, Xfinity.com. If you're just tuning in to take in Wheeler and Milton, this ball game was 2-0 well into the ball game, and I mean well into the ball game. 4 or 5 minutes into this thing, I think we were still at 2-0.
On a couple of free throws.
Yeah, on a couple of free
there
throws.
were no field goals made for the first 6.5 minutes, I'd venture to say.
It was 9-6 at the end of one here in North Fulton. Wheeler had the lead. Wheeler also held the lead at the half at 18-7. That's right, Milton scored just one free throw in the second quarter, and it was an 11-point Wheeler lead. But then Milton went on a run. 3 threes in the third quarter contributed to their run. They outscored Wheeler 17-10 in that third quarter and got us to 28-24 at the end of 3. And now, after this call, Milton coming back down to the free throw line, an offensive foul on Wheeler.
The ball's not even in play. That's inexcusable.
Indeed.
Make them earn it if they're going to go to the line. Don't throw them to the line without them even having to have the ball in play.
And more importantly now, 2 shots for Milton. The first for Smith is good. That's the third foul, by the way, on Kiera Hall, the junior guard. Summer Smith can tie us up in North Fulton. Front iron. And Steed comes up with the biggest rebound of the game. So far, anyway. And pushes. She says, to heck with this. Let me just push the ball up. That way I can guarantee I'll get a touchdown here on the offensive side.
And here's Steed. Steed's up higher, you could tell. Trying to demand the ball a little bit more.
Hancock drives Lyric. A floater that goes. A beautiful shot by Lyric Hancock. Now she's up to 10. Bruckman going to push with her team down by 2, coming up on the 3-minute mark. She'll drive, finds a lane, throws up a floater, and goes. McKenna Bruckman continues to lead all scorers tonight.
Yeah, that's a great job of body control, just pulling up at the right time. Defender was staying put, looking for the charge. McKenna just pulls up, puts in the floater, and a great deuce to get within 1.
17 points tonight for Bruckman. She had 6 in the first, 11 here in the second half. Foul called underneath. Now that the 7th or 8th, we'll see if the scoreboard operator has updated it. There it is, the 8th foul called on Milton. So a 1-and-1 free throw opportunity coming up here for the Lady Wildcats. It's Kiera Hall. And she hits. Kiera now has passed her points per ball game average with 3. Officials checking with the scorers table and now saying something to the 2 head coaches, I believe. They're trying to figure out the possession arrow. Possession arrow, that'll be important as we head down the stretch in favor of Wheeler. Hall's second is good.
Real good form. Nothing
Indeed.
but the bottom of the net on both of those.
2-point lead, Lady Wildcats. Oh, and a 5-second violation on getting the ball inbounds.
It was a quick 5 seconds.
Sure was. Bruckman could not find a young lady to get the ball inbounds to, and Wheeler comes up with a huge turnover underneath their own bucket. Oh boy, she almost picked up her feet. Gave it off to Abdur Rahim. Asha Abdur-Rahim.
That's one of those, Chris, where if she misses, you say, why are you taking that?
As she did earlier, by the way.
Yeah.
She took a 3 earlier, and I openly said I don't know if they want her taking 3-point shots. Well, there you go. That's why I've not seen Wheeler this year, and I didn't know what I was talking about. She bangs down the 3-point shot, and all of a sudden Wheeler with a 6-point lead. Let's take another look. Oh,
Almost a little step there.
almost.
Yeah.
You're being kind. Lauren Slappy at the line, the first. Back iron, no good.
And that was not off of a make, so she could not run the baseline, correct? That was a turnover on the 5-second violation.
Correct.
So you can call the travel on that.
Correct.
So I am being kind.
Yes, indeed. Correct.
Now that we've worked
You're 3
that
for
whole,
3.
we worked that whole equation down.
Milton now going to have to make their free throws as they miss the front iron, or the front end of the 2 foul shots here. They have the free throw advantage. 10 fouls on Wheeler, 8 fouls have been called on Milton. A 6-point ball game at the 2:45 mark here in North Fulton. Milton trails Wheeler with possession by 6.
This game's almost been a microcosm of Wheeler's season. You take a step forward and then you take a step back, and another step forward and another step back.
Sure.
It's almost like they're running in some deep sand. You see tonight glimpses of real nice spurts, and then all of a sudden you see them doing very little.
Coach Deb Schaefer said we're trying to build some steam to get to the going into the region tournament, trying to double our win total from last year. A win tonight could certainly do that. Lauren, second free throw on the way, and good. And so a 5-point game at 2:45.
Plenty of time, no reason for either team to rush things or to panic.
Steed had it poked away from her.
Not a great pass. I like the idea. That's what you want to do to get it to Tierra, but it wasn't there.
DeAndrea, deep jumper, offside iron, no good. They need rebounds in a major way if you're Milton, that is. And the jump ball, there it is.
There's that
Back in favor of Wheeler, indeed. 5-point ball game.
If Milton's going to stay in that zone, I don't even know why Wheeler's going to rush things. Why not kick it back up top, give it to Lyric, let her set it up. There's no reason to rush anything. They're not going to come out and guard you and play a little man.
Right. Well, and there is your case in point.
Yeah.
Perfectly orchestrated, right as you were
gave
saying.
it away for no reason.
Drove right into the zone.
Exactly. Milton was not even pushing the issue.
A steal right back.
Great
Holy
play by
smokes,
Summer.
Smith pushes. Give off to DeAndrea. A jumper, no good. Steed had the rebound for a moment. It's still loose. And finally, Hancock comes out of the pack with it and pushes. She'll give off to Hall. Hall going to give to the trailing player who is not fouled. Instead, they'll say a strip. Bailey went in and had it stripped right out of her hands by Slappy.
See, I don't mind that. You have numbers, you have 2-on-1. Certainly go to the hoop on that possession.
That's different off the break, though.
But right, if you're in the half-court set and they're not going to come play man and come out on you, you're in no rush. Time is your ally if you're Wheeler. Very close to the side.
Wow.
But again, right now, you see they're in the zone. Until they come out and play you man, if you're Wheeler, why would you rush anything right now?
And now a timeout called by Joel Howell and the Lady Wildcats.
Now, I expect off of this timeout, Deb Schaefer to change things up.
Absolutely.
We're going to see them really try and turn Wheeler over and get this thing going a lot quicker. So I only think this timeout by Joel Howell is a blessing for Milton, because now they're going to be coached up how they want to start defending, where before they were sitting back and precious seconds started to be ticking off.
One more scoring recap for you. 9-6. Wheeler led at the end of one. 18-7. Wheeler led at the half. 28-24 was our score at the end of 3, with Wheeler also in front. They've led pretty much the entire way, although Milton scored the first 2 points of the ball game. It was 2-0. I promise you, 5 minutes into this ball game, just 2-0.
If not 6. Now you see them extending right now. You see the defense, they're playing man extending.
Bailey gives off to Abdur Rahim. This three could be big. Off iron, no good. Rebound pulled away by Bruckman. McKenna's going to push. The junior wanting to take control herself. She'll throw up a three. That's blocked. Who got a piece of that? Was it Hall? Pushing now and weaving inside traffic and not able to score is Bailey.
I just don't like that, Chris. You don't need that.
Milton with the rebound, nearing the minute mark. It's getting chancy now. A three. They need it. And it goes! Laura D'Andrea. Yet another three. Good gracious, she's got 9 points in the second half, and they've all come off of three balls. And all of a sudden, Milton at 104, back to within two.
I just don't like what Wheeler did offensively. Great shot again, the third triple for D'Andrea, but there's no reason to be put in that position. Wheeler has got time on their side. Why are you taking the dribble and trying to just go the length of the floor? If you have numbers, fine, I get it. I don't get it on the 1-on-2. And you see Coach Howell there.
Lady Eagles of Milton trying to score their biggest win of the season. And oh, by the way, if we didn't mention it already tonight, senior night on the Milton campus. So these three seniors on the girls roster in Summer Smith, Kelsey McGinnis, and Laura D'Andrea trying to go out in style.
And now it's a one-possession game. It's
right.
A 2-point game, so you almost feel more comfortable if you want to back off a little bit. Obviously, you can't let them eat the rest of the minute 4. But you need to play to your strength here if you're Milton defensively, and let Wheeler shoot themselves in the foot again.
Oh boy.
Well, that's not exactly what I was saying, but okay.
Now they're going to force Wheeler to the line and make them make free throws.
And
the first of which is Lyric Hancock.
We've seen them miss their fair share. I'm very surprised by that.
Yeah, this early.
Maybe they identified they want to foul Hancock if she gets the ball.
55% from the line, and she hits the first, a three-point game. Yeah, I think I would tend to agree with you only because Milton sometimes goes through these scoring droughts. They don't have a myriad of ways to score.
Yeah, I mean,
and as much as you've been getting steals today, and she makes them both, a 4-point ball game at 40-36. Now Milton forced to score on what, maybe 2 and 1 here compared to Wheeler. Bruckman over to D'Andrea. Lauren tries to hit the cutting Slappy. Slappy back off to Smith. Smith can't hit it. It's still loose, and she's fouled. Two shots coming up at 47.8.
Great job by Summer, recognizing exactly what was going on there. Had a nice look the first time, missed it, followed it up, and then went strong to the hole and picks up the foul on the contact. Real nice play. You see there Summer Smith. I'm still just wondering, with a minute 2 to go, again, the only thing I can think of there, Chris, is you see the boys getting ready to go. They identified that if Lyric Hancock were to get the ball, you foul her.
Yeah.
If others, I don't think it was a foul situation where you fouled anybody. It just seemed like too much time in a 2-point game.
Oh boy. Now in that scenario though, if you get fouled and get to the line, you've got to make your free throws, and Smith front irons the first.
This one, the difference between a 1 or a 2 possession game, this is big.
And she hits. Smith knocks it down. She's up to 4 points on the evening. The press comes on, and the foul given to Lauren Slappy.
And again, they get Hancock again. So obviously they want to send her to the line. Because normally there would be too much time on the clock to just constantly be fouling right now.
Looking at my stat sheet, it looks as though she is, in fact, the lowest percentage free throw shooter. 55%.
Well, when
and
the
just
chips
as we
are
say
down,
that,
yep.
Yeah, she's knocked down 3 consecutive free throws.
She has 10 in this half, 13 in the game. So she's feeling pretty good right about now.
Her 4th trip in a row, and she makes.
Well, let's see what they do next time down the court. Do they continue to go after Lyric, or they've learned their lesson?
5-point game. They've gained a point since this began. Bruckman goes right in and scores, and she was nearly fouled on the possession. And now.
And they do.
Yep.
Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me a third time.
Bruckman's bucket from a moment ago.
Yeah, I saw Lyric's hands almost ready to give her that push, too. I'm just going to say how that's not a good foul. So it was a good play to lay off.
Lyric Hancock. 5 free throws in a row. So clutch.
Ice water in those veins, huh?
That's a senior. And we jinxed her. Bruckman comes away with a rebound, loses her headband for about the 10th time tonight. She's got possession back. Standing outside the three-point line, thought about it. Instead gives off to Smith. Some are going to work it around to Slappy. Slappy gives off to Lestrange. Kim, they got to hurry now. 4-point ball game. Driving, Smith spinning, laying off glass. It's no good. This is a huge loose ball picked up by Slappy, a jumper that's no good, and the rebound pulled away by Wheeler. Hancock is fouled.
They had their chances. I'll tell you what, give Wheeler a ton of credit defensively on that possession. There was nothing. Milton could not penetrate the Lady Cat defense. The best we've seen it tonight on that last possession when it was needed most.
And now all 3 seniors will be out on the court at 4.3 because this may be it. Hancock hits.
Boy, oh boy, what's that down the stretch?
5 out of 6.
No, that's 6 out of 7 now. This is her 4th possession. That's 6 out of 7.
You're right.
And now 7 out of 8. Talk about money when you need it most. Great job by Lyric Hancock.
Bruckman will have one last shot at it. She'll throw it up, and it's no good. So the Lady Wildcats of Wheeler complete their goal from 2 weeks ago. They said when we first contacted them about the game that we were going to have on Xfinity, assistant coach Jessica Brunson said our goal is to get to 500 on the season, and they do just that. In the final game of the season, they improved to 8-6 inside the region and 11-11 overall. We'll come back to wrap things up on Xfinity. Perhaps our most exciting girls basketball game of the year in 2013-14 on Xfinity. Justin, what do you think about that? And then also, let's wrap it up maybe.
Well, this thing went against all conventional logic. Tierra Steges, 2 points. Shaquisha Keeling, no points. Those are the usual suspects. One of the usual suspects, though, that did come through when the chips were down. I could not have any more respect for Lyric Hancock. They intentionally fouled her at the end of the game. She nailed 7 of the 8 free throws. 14 of her 17 points came in the second half. That wound up counteracting McKenna Bruckman's game-high 19. Lyric Hancock, congratulations, because in money time, in the pressure situation, when they called upon you, when they said, I don't think you can do it, she did it, and she won them this game in the end. Wheeler, Milton, a great fun game.
In what would be the final regular season ball game for each club. Milton will fall to 5-17 overall, 3-11 inside the region, and they are almost certainly now going to be a 7 or 8 seed in the Region 5 tournament come postseason. For the Lady Wildcats of Wheeler, they'll improve to 11-11 overall, 8-6 inside the region. This reminder for those of you watching us live on highschoolsports.xfinity.com, the start of the boys game will be a little delayed. Again, this is senior night tonight on the Milton campus, so we'll see you in probably 20-25 minutes, maybe even a half hour or so. An exciting opener to our final regular season doubleheader on Xfinity tonight. McKenna Bruckman was a sharpshooter tonight with 19 points. And of course, Lyric Hancock, the star, with 17 and 14 from the line. This has been a production of Play On Sports. For Justin Hanover, I'm Chris Mooney, and thanks for joining us. A 45-39 Wheeler Lady Wildcat victory on Xfinity.